Good morning. Good morning, everyone. This is Chair Miller, Community Development Recommending Board. I'm going to gavel us in at 9. And at this time, I will ask the clerk to call to order and roll call.
Chair Miller,
Present.
Co-Chair McKnight,
Present.
Member Marlin,
Present.
Member Haddad Bennett,
Present.
Member Prado,
Present.
Member Lathrop,
Present.
Member Burks,
Present.
Member Jackson,
Present.
Member Conyers,
Present.
Member Jones-Zangaro,
Present.
Member Caliendo,
Present.
Member Freeman.
Present.
You have a quorum.
Thank you very much. And we are in compliance to open meeting law.
We are.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving on to agenda item number 3, public comment. Comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters on the agenda for action. If you wish to be heard, come forward and give your name for the record. The amount of discussion as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed may be limited. Do we have any public comment? Seeing none, I'll go to agenda item number 4, report by Colleen Duwigger, Grant Program Coordinator regarding Housing and Urban Development HUD, federal grants and allocation of federal funds. Ms. Duwigger.
Colleen Duiger, Neighborhood Services. The City of Las Vegas's grant application process began on October 13th, 2025 with the posting of a request for proposal, RFP, for agencies seeking program funding from the city's allocation of funds for housing opportunities for persons with AIDS, HOPWA, and the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG. The grant funds for each of these programs are designated as 2-year grants designed to provide funds for selected agencies in fiscal years 2026 to 2027 and 2027 to 2028. The approximate amount of funding for HOPWA is $3.3 million, and the approximate amount of funding for CDBG is $500,000. Interested agencies were asked to attend one of 2 technical workshops held on October 28, 2025. The RFP closed on November 13, 2025, and the Community Development Recommending Board received eligible applications for review on December 8, 2025. Over the course of 3 days, the Community Development Recommending Board will hear presentations from applicants who met grant eligibility requirements. Applicants have been asked to make a presentation to the board. 10 minutes have been allocated for each program, which is broken down into 5 minutes for the presentation and 5 minutes to answer questions from the board. This meeting will consist of presentations for the CDBG grant program. At the conclusion of today's presentations, board members will reconvene on February 23, 2026 for deliberations and award recommendations for each agency. At this time, I would like to ask all board members to disclose any potential conflicts of interest you have with any of the presenting agencies today.
This is David Marlin, and my day job is at Vegas Stronger, so I'm going to abstain from anything on Vegas Stronger.
Hello, this is Member Freeman. I had disclosed that Family Promises CEO is a board member for my NHSSN organization, and for Nevada Partnership for Homeless Youth, our board members is an employee of mine. So let me know if there is a conflict that I need to recuse.
Deputy City Attorney Tamara Canella, for the record. I think those are both fine as disclosures. Thank you.
Thank you.
Member Caliendo, Member Prado, or Member Lathrop, are you still disclosing?
Yes, Robert Lathrop. I've been involved with the Family Promise organization, and we're major contributors, helped build some of their building. My wife is a coordinator for their Just Neighbors program, and I'm going to recuse myself.
This is Ali Caliendo. I'm the Director of Foster Kinship, so I'll be recusing myself from that. I'd also like to disclose that Scouting America is presenting today on their outreach program, and Foster Kinship is a partner in the outreach program running Adventure Scouts, so I'm not sure if I need to also recuse there.
Deputy City Attorney Tamara Canella, for the record. Can you explain the relationship a little more?
The outreach program does scouting programs at different organizations. Foster Kinship is a site, and we run a specialized scouting program for kids who need some additional support.
I think that one is fine as a disclosure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Member Prado?
Hi, Member Prado. Leaders in Training is presenting today, and I've been a donor for over a decade, personally contributed thousands of dollars, but also my organization is an MOU where we provide them free space at my urging because I was a supporter and have for almost 10 years at this point. So they have a 4,000 square foot facility in our building that we own. And so I'm going to recuse myself from that item.
Okay, we're good. And is that Member Jackson's light I see? Okay, all right. I think we're past disclosures. We'll move on to agenda item number 5. Presentations regarding applications for Community Development Block Grant CDBG funds for fiscal year 2026, 2027, and 2027-2028, submitted by Nevada Partnership for Homeless Youth, Safe Place, Youth Outreach and Intervention Program, the Salvation Army Vocational Program Assisting Individuals in Need, Community Impact Services Program, Catholic Charities of Southern Nevada Emergency Night Shelter, Help of Southern Nevada, Shannon West Homeless Youth Center, Shine a Light Continued Case Management, Family Promise of Las Vegas, Pathway to Housing Program, Foster Kinship Enhanced Kinship Navigator Program, Iron Sharpens Iron Mentoring Incorporated, Mentoring and Diversion Programs for At-Risk Youth, YMCA Young Men's Christian Association of Southern Nevada, Durango Hills YMCA Early Childhood Education, Olive Crest Teen and Young Adult Independent Living Program, Las Vegas Area Council Incorporated Boy Scouts of America, Las Vegas Area Council Outreach, noting Sunrise Children's Foundation Home Instruction for Parents of Preschool Youngsters, HIPPY, has withdrawn, Leaders in Training, High School School Leadership Program, Real Talk Youth Impact Program, Youth Promoting Education Enrichment Opportunities to Residents in Their Formative Years. Okay. With that, looking at our schedule, if Nevada Partnership for Homeless Youth Safe Place, if you are here, if you would please come forward. Please know that you have 5 minutes for your presentation. When you get to 4 minutes, I will give you the sign that you have 1 minute left. Then I will open the floor for board members to ask any questions. Please speak loudly and state for the record your name when you respond or you're making a statement for the record. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. My name is Melissa Jacobowitz, and I'm with Nevada Partnership for Homeless Youth, also known as MPHY. Thank you so much for your time today and for inviting us to share a little bit more with you about the Safe Place Youth Outreach and Intervention Program. So MPHY's Safe Place program is the only around-the-clock mobile crisis intervention program in Southern Nevada that's dedicated specifically and uniquely designed to serve children and teenagers in crisis in our community. Safe Place is a national program, but it's been operated here in Southern Nevada by MPHY since 2002. This program is available 24/7, 365 days a year at virtually every street corner in Southern Nevada through a variety of partner organizations, through our partnerships with City of Las Vegas fire stations, Terrible Herbst convenience stores, Las Vegas Clark County libraries, Henderson libraries, also the Regional Transportation Commission, the RTC buses, and MPHY as the leader of that coalition of partners that makes it possible to have this 24/7 safety net for young people in crisis. And basically how the program works is any young person age 18 or younger in a crisis situation, if they find themselves needing immediate help, they can go to any of those hundreds of locations 24 hours a day, the ones that are available 24 hours a day, the libraries when they're open, and they can go and say, I need a safe place. We train the Terrible Herbst cashiers, the City of Las Vegas firefighters, the librarians, the city bus drivers, et cetera, to recognize the situation and to give us a call when a young person comes in. They take the young person to a safe location. They provide them a snack if available, water, make sure they're safe. They give us a call, and we have crisis responders on call round the clock, and we will be dispatched out and within roughly 30 minutes arrive to the location, meet the young person where they are, assess their needs, and then provide them free confidential transportation to wherever they need to go to resolve their presenting problem. So if it's a young person who just needs a safe ride home or something of that nature, nature. It could be a young person who's just in a crisis that can be resolved by a Safe Ride Home. We'll do that. But the majority of the time, the young people accessing Safe Place, they're experiencing abuse, neglect. They're kicked out of the house. They're abandoned by their family. They're experiencing homelessness. They may have been experiencing homelessness for a while and are finally ready to seek help. They may have just been kicked out of the house that very day or become disconnected from their family that very day. And we arrive and we take them in the nighttime, either to one of our confidentially located emergency shelters where they can stay with us and we'll work on the long-term plan of where they're going to go next, or in the daytime to our drop-in center, which is our anchor facility where we'll be able to meet their immediate needs, assess their further needs, and connect them to further services. Or we also take them to partner agencies if that's the best fit for them. So the Safe Place also provides an essential routing function for our community. And this is a program that fits under two of the City of Las Vegas's focus areas, both homelessness and youth services. And it's an evidence-based program using the proven National Safe Place model and utilizing trauma-informed care. And so we are requesting from you all $75,000 to support the Safe Place Youth Outreach and Intervention Program. And specifically, when it comes to City of Las Vegas young people, we're seeking to serve 55 City of Las Vegas resident youth through this program annually. Last fiscal year, July 24 through June 25, we served 62 City of Las Vegas resident young people through this program, and we had set out to serve a minimum of 45. So we served 38% more youth than anticipated with our City of Las Vegas CDBG grant. And accordingly, we are on track to serve even more this year. As of the end of December 2025, with our current grant, which is halfway through the year, we have already served 44 out of 45 City of Las Vegas resident youth. So this is just really showing an increasing need for this program, the growth in this need, and that City of Las Vegas youth in particular are in need of this safety net and this crucial life-saving crisis intervention service. We're also on track with our spend down for our current grant. As of December 2025, we had already spent down 64% of our grant, and we are scheduled to be at 50%. So we are on track for both our performance measures and our financial. And we also, since we have had City of Las Vegas CDBG for many years, we've never returned any funds, we've never not successfully spent down, and we've passed all monitorings with no findings. So in conclusion, the Safe Place program provides the city a significant return on investment. It prevents higher level emergencies from occurring. It keeps first responders from being called in unnecessarily. It reduces burden on law enforcement. And it really addresses multiple priorities for the city. It prevents homelessness for at-risk youth. It connects young people currently experiencing homelessness to shelter and housing opportunities with both MPHY and a whole plethora of community partners. It provides a safety net for all young people in the City of Las Vegas, and it creates an individual impact for every young person in their formative educational years by providing them that way to get off the streets for good and that immediate support, and it has a major impact for our community overall. So I thank you for your time, and I'm happy to take your questions.
All right, you did good. You like 3 seconds, she came right on the wire. That's what I'm talking
I had a
about.
timer.
Fantastic. At this time, we will open up the floor for any questions from members of the board. The chair recognizes Jones Zangaro.
Good morning, and thank you for what you do. It's definitely a program that is needed, and my concern is we have sat through 2 days, and this is our third day of organizations that all do important things to the city. There's only so much money. What would you do if you were not fully funded or not funded at all?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, this is an essential program. I would say that this program influences the success of a lot of other programs in our community too, because it's that crisis entry point, right? And there's a lot of research that says that when a young person is on the streets within 48 hours, if they aren't immediately connected to services, 1 in 3 young people will be lured into sex trafficking and all kinds of very dangerous things on the streets. So providing that immediate intervention, it's such a critical life-saving tool, and it's also a major return on investment for the city and for all of us, because if we can prevent that higher level of, we can prevent substance abuse, we can prevent long-term chronic homelessness, we can prevent all of these dangers of the streets by having that 24-hour crisis intervention to get young people off the streets immediately. But in terms of the funding question, MPHY definitely prides ourselves on making sure that we have diverse funding. So this program is essential for our community. This money is very important to keep this program operating and running. If we were to see reduced funding, we would definitely seek additional funding elsewhere to make sure that we can fill in any gaps necessary and make sure that this program is operating. But I'd say that this service is essential, and we'll do anything we can to make sure that it doesn't lapse.
Chair recognizes Member Caliendo.
Thank you. Alec Caliendo. You mentioned that a lot of these youth are experiencing abuse and neglect almost in like real time. So how soon do you or do you involve family services, and what does that partnership look like?
Yeah, that's a great question. So yes, we work very, very closely with family services. So, and all of our case managers and our staff are mandated reporters, of course. So yeah, absolutely. So a lot of times with this program, when a young person is picked up, if they're a minor, we do serve 18-year-olds in this program too, but then the majority are minors, right? So if we pick up a minor in this program, first we've addressed that immediate situation, right? We take them, if it's nighttime, to our shelter if they need an immediate place to stay. If it is the daytime, we take them to the drop-in center. And once they're in a safe location, we provide them food and, water and clothing and get them settled, then we reach out to CPS. And so we do that basically immediately as soon as they're settled, and we work with CPS, and we have a very, very close relationship with family services where all kinds of things can come from that. They might say, why doesn't this youth stay in your shelter for a week or so while we work on this case? We have an open case, we're going to see what's going on, and then we'll work together. Sometimes they say, can you actually bring the youth from Safe Place to Child Haven, and we'll transport them to Child Haven. Sometimes they'll say, actually we've looked at it and it's not safe for them to go back home. Can they move into your transitional housing program for a longer term? So we work very, very closely with them. Sometimes youth do, CPS ask for the youth to go back home, or et cetera, et cetera. So we work very, very closely with them in this program. Great question.
All righty. Seeing no further questions, thank you so much for your presentation. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda, we'll call down the Salvation Army. Again, remember, you have 5 minutes for your presentation. I will give you the 1 minute mark when you hit 4 minutes. 5 minutes will be given to board members to speak. Please make sure you speak loudly and give your name every time you speak for the record. And good morning and welcome.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to be here today. My name is Rebecca Miller, and I'm the Vocational and Anti-Trafficking Services Coordinator. I appreciate this opportunity and an overview of our vocational program and how this investment supports individuals experiencing homelessness and achieving employment and housing stability. Our vocational program is a client-centered, strength-based workforce development program designed to help participants move beyond crisis into long-term independence. Our goal is not simply to help someone find a job, but support them in building a career, one that provides dignity, livable wages, and long-term stability. Annually, our program serves approximately 100 individuals in all jurisdictions, with 25 City of Las Vegas residents supported specifically through CDBG funding. Participants are individuals experiencing homelessness or at the risk of homelessness, who have very low or no income, or below 80% of the area median income, and who are willing and able to work. Participants often face multiple barriers, including employment, lack of job skills or certification, housing stability, transportation challenges, and recovery-related barriers. Our program is intentionally designed to address these challenges holistically. This is a residential wraparound workforce development program, which services provided on-site and eliminates common barriers such as transportation and access to care. Core components include workforce readiness and job training, industry-recognized certification, resume development, mock interviews, and financial literacy, intensive individual case management, stable housing, and meals during program participation. Each participant receives an individual career plan and ongoing follow-up to support long-term success. The need for this program is significant. In 2024, 6,566 individuals were experiencing homelessness in Clark County. Since 2020, rent has increased nearly 25%, with entry-level wages often fail to meet livable wage standards. Without employment support, nearly 1 in 3 individuals return to homelessness every year. Our program directly addresses these employment and housing cycles by pairing workforce development, stability, and support. Our annual program targets include enrolling 25 City Las Vegas residents, achieving 75% employment placement within 3 months of completion, supporting 50% of participants in transitioning into permanent housing with 3 months, ensuring 100% of participants are connected with wraparound services. Over the past 3 years, we have demonstrated strong employment placements with wages ranging $13 to $20 per hour, dozens of participants transitioning into permanent or transitional housing, high completion of rate, skilled trade and certification programs, outcomes through HMIS with 30, 60, and 90-day follow-ups. Most recently, we've had 9 participants graduate with industry-recognized certificates in the hospitality field, and 8 of those graduates secured full-time employment shortly after completion. These are career positions, not temporary placements. Our outcomes are strengthened through strategic partnerships, including Employee NV, College of Southern Nevada, Culinary Academy of Las Vegas, the Las Vegas Institute of Welding, Professional Institute of Technology, local hospitality, logistic, and skill-trained employers, on-site behavioral health. These partnerships help prevent duplication of services and create direct pipelines for employment. The Salvation Army has served Southern Nevada for nearly 8 years and brings an extensive experience managing CDBG and other federal funds. We maintain strong fiscal control, undergo annual audits, and conduct monthly compliance reviews. Program data is tracked through HMIS, ensuring accountability, transparency, and continued performance improvement. We are requesting $114,140 to support staffing, housing, workforce training, certification costs, and individuals experiencing homelessness. This request aligns with the CDB national objective to benefit low to moderate income individuals and the city's priority of homelessness. In closing, the investment supports proven outcomes-driven workforce program and helps the City of Las Vegas residents move from homelessness to employment and housing stability. CDBG funds allow us to remove barriers, provide training, and that leads to livable wages and reduce long-term reliance on public systems. Thank you for your time, your partnership, and continued commitment to the solution that creates lasting change. We look forward to continuing this important work together. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I'll open the floor for any questions that any board member has. Chair recognizes Member Jones-Zagara.
Good morning. Boy, you gave us a lot of facts. One of the ones you said 75% graduate and find job placement, and just recently 8 out of 9. Do you find that those people tend to come back? Are they able to maintain those jobs? Is there any kind of statistics for that? And then my second part is, you have $70,000 listed for other training costs. It's very vague. Could you maybe have a little more detail based on what that $70,000 actually goes for?
Sure. So the first part, we do not see a lot of recurring clients coming into our program. Most of them are 100%, I say about 80% are successful or moving towards their long-term goals. With our program, I have not seen anybody really come back and re-enter our program. And with the 70,000, the question was in detail, correct? What that's going for? So that is for our certification programs for hospitality, welding, any type of things that they may need, such as work boots, jackets, anything that's going to for their success in their completion of their training program.
Chair recognizes Member Caliendo.
This is Jamie Jackson.
Sorry,
so
Member Jackson.
I just wanted to address the risk assessment from the City of Las Vegas. And last time when you were, the Salvation Army was here, it might have been a different program, but I see that you have been untimely with your reports. So, and this was previous when you came before, and I was wondering how you were going to address getting the reports and all that in a timely fashion to the city.
Very good question. I just started July 15th this year, and it has been my priority and my goal to have my reports on time. As going forward, as I've taken over the position of coordinator, our has been on time in my department. I know there was a little something going on with some of our divisional department, and that is being addressed, and it has been moved forward with that.
I apologize, Member Jackson. My glasses had a little dirt on them. I was like, thought I saw Caliendo's light on, so I do apologize for that. Didn't mean to call the wrong name. Are there any more questions? Member Conyers?
Hi. So I know that you help people get placement in jobs in hospitality and welding, and I was just curious if your program is taking in consideration of AI disrupting a lot of jobs and with that said, are you trying to strategically place people in jobs that they would still be gainfully employed if AI isn't disrupting a lot of the job force?
That is a very good question. I'd like you know I'm one of the first that were not on the AI train. I'm now on it. I'm understanding it a lot better. I just recently received my digital marketing certificate where we did everything through AI, ChatGPT, those programs. And with that being said, we do partner with a lot of professional IT certifications that are addressing those programs and encouraging those that are interested in the IT to move forward with those programs. I really can't speak with the future with IT. Recently, I went to it was a virtual training with Vegas PBS where they're learning to weld online virtually. And with that being said, our goal is to continue with the times and move forward with our program to make sure that everyone is successful with these tech-driven initiatives that are coming out.
Member
Thank you.
Lathrop?
Yeah, I could have asked this question several times during this development, but the transition from homelessness into viable employment is tough. And one of the key factors there, I see you've got some good collaboration with people that help out with the training and help out with the support. But employers have gotten strict about criminal history, about financial responsibility. And when those things show up in somebody's background, it's a huge hurdle to jump over. How do you guys help overcome some of those barriers?
Absolutely, very good question. That is very tough. And with with the homeless population and our addiction population we serve, that is a very common program that or situation that occurs. We are very lucky to have partners with DWSS, Division of Welfare Social Services, Hope for Prisoners. Our schools have a lot of contacts with second chance employers such as Stations Casinos and Resort Worlds. So we're using collaboration with our outside partners to help us rectify those outcomes or those situations.
All righty. Thank you so
Thank you
much
so
for your
much for the
presentation.
opportunity.
Next is assisting individuals in need. Again, I want to remind you, you have 5 minutes for your presentation. I will give you the 1 minute symbol when you're at 4 minutes. You have 1 minute left. Then the floor will be open for board members to ask questions. Please make sure you speak clearly. Wait a minute, are they coming? Or am I early? Again, once again, I'm early again. Oh, they are coming, great. That the floor will be open for 5 minutes for board members to ask you questions. Please speak loudly, and when you speak, please give your name for the record. Thank you and good morning.
Good morning. How is everyone today?
Wonderful.
Sorry, I just walked in. Do I go ahead and present now?
Yes, whenever you're ready, sir.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much. My name is Brandon Barrett. I'm the executive director of a relatively new nonprofit here in Vegas. We're called Assisting Individuals in Need. I invited my colleague, Lizelle Shoho, as well, too. She's a pillar and works within the arts community for many, many years. And she can speak a little bit about our programs as well. But basically what we do, and we created a need, which was providing direct frontline support to residents and individuals starting here in the Las Vegas Valley. Our work is grounded in a very simple understanding, which is basically providing basic necessities to those vulnerable populations. So whether that involves individuals with disability accessibility, whether that involves substance abuse recovery, and specifically today our ask is to be able to assist those that are economically marginalized and for those that are homeless. So today I'm here in support of our request for the Community Development Block Grant funding for assisting individuals in need, which we're calling a community support and outreach program. This program we designed is going to basically provide mobile outreach in areas with the highest need in the Vegas Valley, specifically downtown and East Las Vegas. These are areas where our offices are at the Downtown Container Park on Fremont between 7th and 8th Street. We see this every day. We just see the numbers growing. We see that there's issues with substance abuse recovery. We worked on a program last year, which was working with women that were recently homeless and going through substance abuse recovery, and we provided art therapy through a generous grant from the Nevada Arts Council. And we want to be able to expand and build upon that. We also recognize as well, too, these are areas where unsheltered residents are concentrated, where the impacts of homelessness are most visible, and specifically impacting businesses and neighborhoods alike as well. Through this program, our outreach teams meet people where they are. So I'm going to be working with members from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. We're going to be working and hiring a program coordinator, working with interns, going through social work and things to that effect as well too. So be able to provide mentoring and things to that effect, but also distributing basic hygiene safety kits that include water, food supplies, socks, emergency blankets. In the winter, we anticipate distributing, and this isn't part of the ask, this is something that we've been doing for the past couple years, like with many of our colleagues here today, but also doing like a winter holiday clothing drive, and in the summer also providing supplies such as like liquid IV and things to that effect. We believe that this is practical, it's on the ground work, it's designed to reduce immediate risk while helping people move towards stability. The idea is that because the need is urgent and growing, the numbers are climbing, is that we don't want to compete with like the Salvation Army, and not to call it agencies or things to that effect, but we want to be able to advertise their resources as part of our outreach as well, to be able to supplement that and to be able at the same time to address some of these issues as well, to be able to get people what's needed, which are basic fundamental human rights, which include accessibility to shelter services and things to that effect. We believe in, I look at the numbers and I look at and research this as that this is a gap our program is designed to fill. This uses a very low barrier field-based approach. Intake is very simple. We basically go out and meet with individuals. Our ask is the $76,922. I put this together in a budget that's shared with you as well. With this investment, it will serve, originally I put on there 300 individuals for the first year. I believe we could easily double that number. And by the second year, with the visibility and the support of the program itself, I believe, could grow that number easily to another 100% on top of that. This program supports broader city priorities. It improves public health by reducing exposure to extreme weather. It also, during the elements as well too, in the winter as well too, and also stabilizes unsanitary conditions. It also enhances public safety, stabilizing situations before they escalate to individuals. It also demonstrates responsible stewardship of federal funds by targeting resources where they deliver immediate, measurable impact. At its core, I strongly believe this program reflects a very simple principle. When we address basic needs, we strengthen the entire community. With that, I know I'm running out of time here. I'd be more than happy to answer questions.
Thank you very much. At this time, I'll open the floor up for any questions that we have for our presenters. The chair recognizes Member Burks, am I right? And then Member Jackson, and then Member Caliendo. Did I get all three? Yes, thank you.
Member Linda Burks. Where you said you are downtown?
Yeah.
So between 7th and 8th. Do you go out on the street to find people? How are they contacting you?
Right, that's a great question. So through the different initiatives that we've been doing historically in the past, we were working with what was the name of the center? We were working with We Care, and basically they had clients that were intaking through there. With this particular program, we would be doing mobile outreach. So to answer your question with this funding, so we would be going out on the streets, addressing those that are displaced and things to that effect. Yeah, and we would be working with partner agencies and plugging them into their services. Thank you.
Member Jackson.
So hi, Jamie Jackson. What are your success metrics for the people that you serve? So what is the ultimate goal? Like, you provide a lot of assistance to them,
Sure.
but what are exactly, what happens after you provide the services? And also I wanted to know about how do you make sure that there's not duplication of efforts? I know my church also provides blankets, packets, and all of that.
Yeah, and I'm not looking to compete. We're not looking to compete with any of those individuals in the organizations as well, too. We would be looking at partnership. We would be plugging in the services like from your church to these individuals directly, and we'd be supplementing that as well. And what we see on the streets and where our offices are located, just to use that as like a raw example, visibility matrix, the numbers are growing. and to be able to like address that and put that into more scientifically, to be able to like see more people that we see engaged into the service providers.
Member Caliendo?
Thank you. It looks like your program is primarily implemented by a relationship with UNLV using students and interns. Can you describe that?
Sure. So I was a member of the Alumni Association, and you know, when I spoke with them, one of my primary outreaches was when starting assisting individuals in need was to be able to engage students, be able to provide them opportunities, to be able to like have them do community service support and things to that effect.
Member Conyers and then Member Freeman.
Hi. So I'm just wanting to know like the focus area that you're covering. I know that you're on Fremont. So then I guess what is your focus area?
Focus area would be specifically like downtown and East Las Vegas. That's where we would concentrate with this program. So not just Fremont Street, that's just where our physical office is.
Okay, so I'm in the area code 89101. So
Yep.
around Eastern and Fremont, there's a ton of people in that location, and it is growing. So I'm just curious if that is an area that you look at.
100%, yes.
Thank you.
Member Freeman?
I'm Member Freeman for the record. So I noticed in your risk assessment that, you know, your ask is 60% of the CDBG ask is 60% of your budget, and being a new startup organization, it also lists you as, you know, pro bono. Without these funds, how do you see managing stability?
So managing stability, it's been all unrestricted, so meaning private donors up to this point, like about 85% to be honest. We started this as like an expression of need within the community to be able to support that. Because we are a startup, you know, we have received little, but this is like one of the first big asks in program. My experience is over 25 years working with NGOs, non-governmental organizations to that effect as well. The board also, the pro bono leadership works. They're very experienced and CEOs of like former nonprofits and things to that effect. So we started this as an express need within the community. The whole idea was to incubate and start programs like this in Las Vegas and to be able to expand them out to a national outreach. So,
And a follow-up to that is being a new organization or new to, this is your first CDBG grant request that comes with a lot of reporting. Who's going to be responsible for the reporting?
I'll be overseeing the reporting along as well too. We'd be hiring a part-time program coordinator.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty. Thank you so much for your presentation. We appreciate your time.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Next, we have Catholic Charities of Southern Nevada Emergency Night Shelter. Just want to remind you that you have 5 minutes for your presentation. I will give you a signal of 1 minute. When you hit 4 minutes, the board will have 5 minutes to ask you questions. Please make sure you speak loudly, and when you're speaking, please give your name so we can address it for the record. Good morning and welcome.
Morning. Good morning. We do have a presentation to hand out. Good morning, everyone. My name is Brianna Jones, and joining with me today are Nicole Anderson and Stephen Morris, and we want to thank you for having us today. Catholic Charities of Southern Nevada has operated for the last 85 years, providing food, shelter, and comprehensive support to the most vulnerable individuals in our community. Through our 16 strategically aligned programs, we serve more than 51,000 people every year. We're here today to share why our emergency night shelter is important to the community. At this time, Nevada has the greatest shortage of affordable housing units in the United States, with nearly 8,000 considered as unsheltered, which is the highest it has been in 10 years. As of last month alone, there's a record of more than 3,900 at-risk individuals that are listed on the community queue waiting for housing after assessment.
The Catholic Charities Emergency Shelter Program has been serving men in Southern Nevada for over 30 years. We provide safe and dignified emergency shelter to men over the age of 18. We operate the largest indoor emergency shelter in Southern Nevada, staffed by a team of case managers, shelter coordinators, and security officers, all of whom are trained in trauma-informed care. This team works together to ensure safety and access to services. Our low-barrier shelter model serves 400 men daily, 365 days a year, totaling approximately 145,000 individuals in 12 months. Guests are not turned away due to any systemic barriers. We ensure rapid access to a safe environment with wraparound support and resources to those experiencing homelessness. We meet the immediate needs while individuals remain in the community queue. Our shelter also provides priority access to seniors and individuals with physical disabilities.
Nicole Anderson for the record. At Catholic Charities, we really want to make sure that we provide all of our clients and guests with dignity and respect. Part of that is when they come into our shelter, we're able to provide them with a set of professionally laundered linens and a blanket, a clean towel so that they can take a hot shower, as well as a hygiene kit and basic toiletries such as toothpaste and soap. We also provide lockers for personal storage, which really makes a difference because the individuals that are staying with us can know that their belongings are in a safe place. Those may be all the belongings that they have. We also have charging stations for electronics that also lock, which again provides a safe space for things like their wallets and their cell phones, which we know for unhoused individuals can be impossible to find a place to charge their phones during the day, so they're able to charge them at night in a safe spot and sleep peacefully. These essential provisions really do extend dignity and respect to each guest, improving their well-being, and then promoting shelter cleanliness as well. So as Stephen mentioned, all of our staff is trauma-informed, including our case management team. So our case management team, over the last year, was able to work with 2,800 individuals, some of those individuals for just one moment, some of those individuals for a longer period of time. Our case managers do build trust and rapport with each client, making sure that they are somebody they can come to and trust and help them work through those barriers. Our wraparound support structure addresses housing navigation outside of the community queue, which reduces the burden on the coordinated entry system here in Southern Nevada. In addition to many of the things that case management is able to provide, we're able to also help provide things like family reunification, help them navigate state benefits, life skills, documentation and ID, employment, and financial literacy. So you'll see in your packet, we have a client story. This particular client, his name is Gino. He was attending our community meal. Our case managers do outreach at our community meal, talking to just random clients, letting them know that we're available, we're there for them, letting them know about our programs. So Gino worked with one of our case managers because he stayed in our shelter. He was able to work with that case manager while he was staying in our shelter at night. That case manager was able to help Gino navigate some of his social services benefits, getting him into an apartment, which he now qualified for. So very excited for Gino. He's gonna move into his own apartment. And Gino is just one example of how Catholic Charities' role in providing safe shelter and wraparound services really can help people across our community.
We are requesting $66,000 to help fund the salary and the benefits of a case manager within our shelter. As Nicole mentioned, our case managers do engage with a large quantity of clients each day, totaling at least 15 or more throughout the year, making sure that we're addressing their long-term goals as well as establishing sustainability plans for their life and their future. With this funding, we do anticipate at least 20 City of Las Vegas clients will have improved and verifiable outcomes with their case manager's aid. Pictured also within your packet is shows our emergency shelter program and our budget of more than $8 million. At this time, we have secured funding of almost $7.2 million for our operational needs, so including the utilities, occupancy, our security staff, as well as the linens and towels, as we previously mentioned. We are still fundraising for $900,000, where that $66,000 from the City of Las Vegas will make a significant impact in funding the salary of one of our case managers as they work to improve and promote better lives for those who need them most, including 20 City of Las Vegas clients. And we are welcome and opening for all questions. Thank
Boy,
you.
you guys are doing great today. Boom, right on target. Fantastic. At this time, I'll open the floor up for any questions. The chair recognizes Member Member Jackson. I gotta get my glasses. There you go.
Hi,
Okay.
Jamie Jackson here. I think the program is great. I just was wondering about the recidivism rate. Do you have substance abuse benefits along with that? And about, the recidivism rate.
So that's a great question. Recidivism is something that does happen. Unfortunately, with this particular population, we do have individuals that do come back to us. But the fact that they do come back to us means that they feel safe with us. So that's, if you want to take the silver lining, right? As far as you said, substance use, right? So yes, we have many of our clients do struggle with substance use disorder. Our case managers are trained in several different things, including like stages of change and motivational interview. And so though we don't have substance abuse treatment or anything like that on our campus, we do work with several other agencies in the area to make sure that we can, when we're working with our clients during our individual service plans, we're meeting them where their goals are at. So if that's something that they're interested in and they need, we're going to make sure that we're connecting them with those services as needed.
And do you make sure that if they do have a substance abuse problem, that's not in your facility, right? Making sure that there's security and that they're sober.
Sure. Well, so Stephen mentioned in our program or in our presentation that we are considered a low barrier shelter. So what that means is that people can come into our shelter if they are under the influence. They cannot be danger to self or danger to others. So what that means is 9 times out of 10, they're just coming in to sleep it off. And at that case, we're going to typically have them work with the case manager to see if there's something that we can do. So they are allowed in our shelter if they are under the influence. But that's just part of, we'd rather them be with us in a safe place than out, on the street.
And then on average, how long do they stay?
So we are a night-by-night shelter. So they could stay anywhere from one night. Technically, we're an emergency shelter. So the thought process there is they can stay one night or they can stay months. It really just depends. And that's why case management is so essential, because without case management, they're just going to be there for a long period of time without those wraparound services. So having case management in place really does help to kind of light a fire and help motivate and provide information to the clients so that they know what's out there. Because, those of us that aren't in the same situation that they're in, it's hard for us to navigate sometimes, regular day-to-day obstacles. So you're welcome.
Chair recognizes Member Conyers.
Hi, so you mentioned that you provide lockers for the clients, and then you just said that it's a night by night shelter. So are you allowing them to store belongings with you beyond the time that they're physically there?
No, the access to storage facility is only available during their stay at the shelter.
Okay. I guess, isn't there a need for someone in a state of homelessness to have their stuff secured when they're not with you?
Yes, we encourage our guests and clients to use other services in the area. The City of Las Vegas Courtyard has a long-term service for that purpose only, for storage. And we encourage them to go over there and use their service.
Okay, thank you.
Member Jones-Zagaro.
Good morning. I know you guys do a phenomenal job. I serve over at the Care Complex every Monday and help feed these people. Curious, you said you're night by night. So tell me, how does a case manager, at what time do they come in? What time are they forced to get out? And how does the case manager deal with somebody who's there for just a night when you have how many people a night?
400 a night. I can answer that question. So we have a couple different case management programs. All of those case managers work together in tandem. So Our night shelter case managers come in about 1:30 p.m. and they leave at 10 p.m. We have 24/7 staff. So say a client needs somebody after case management has left, that staff that's there after hours will let us know in the morning. Morning case managers will work with that client if we need to until they come back into the shelter, or we also have a system internally where we can flag. So once that person comes in for the night, we can flag and say this person needs case management. So we have a whole process to where we really try to make sure that nobody is falling through the cracks if they need a case manager.
So are they forced out in the morning, or are they allowed to stay to speak to case managers, or the case managers, you say they come in at 1:30, so are the people allowed to come in at 1:30?
Our doors open at 2:30, and then we do ask that they leave for the day at 7 a.m., and that is so that we can clean. We've got 400 men per night, so we do have to clean the whole facility, and then come back in at 2:30 the next day.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and we ran over a little bit, but thank you so much for your presentation. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Help of Southern Nevada. Again, please remember, you have 5 minutes for your presentation. When you get to the 4-minute mark, I'll give you the 1-minute sign that you have 1 minute left. Then we'll open the floor up for questions from the board. Please make sure that you state your name if you're responding to a question for the record, and speak loudly. Good morning and welcome.
Thank you. I'm Philala Riley. I'm the CEO for Help Us Southern Nevada, and I brought the whole gang with me as a succession plan thing. So Kim Moore is in charge of all things Shannon West. Gabby is in charge of all things finance, and Christina is in charge of all things grants and compliance. And so they all excitedly wanted to come and present in front of you. A little facetiousness there. But we do wanted to provide them with an opportunity to learn about the process that happens with CDBG, as they have so much to do with the actual work and reporting and whatnot. And so hopefully maybe next year it'll be 1 or 2 of them presenting to you. So thank you very much. We are here to present on behalf for CDBG funding for our Shannon West Homeless Youth Center. It is a transition age youth emergency shelter, and transition age youth in this case for us is 18 to 24. We are asking for CDBG funds to continue, and we have asked for an increase, but we're asking for salaries. Our facility is manned 24/7, and our youth are allowed to stay up to 2 years. Obviously first in emergency shelter beds and then moving to transitional housing. One of the things that we've accomplished with your funds in the previous year was 56 youth were served from the city of Las Vegas. Of that, 80% of those youth participated in some sort of education or employment services that we have on site. Additionally, we had 91% of the youth enrolled from City of Las Vegas. That was 90%. 91% did education and employment. 80% actually enrolled further, and then 80% of the 56 youth had at least one intervention service while they were with us. 100% of the youth enrolled at Shannon West participated in at least one case management session or mental health appointment. And then 92% that were enrolled exited to more stable housing. We have provided the annual report for that service. I do believe that's available to you. Some of the challenges that we have experienced in the last year have been that 95% of youth 18 to 24 that came from the city of Las Vegas report disabilities that significantly hinder their ability to escape homelessness. We have found that there is an increase in those that are already considered by HUD's definition chronically homeless. there's an 8% increase year over year of those youth. And for that, that means that they've had 12 months consecutive of homelessness or 4 episodes of homelessness in the last 3 years. Really shocking, and it continues to grow. And we believe that Shannon West is here to answer some of that, the challenges that we face as a community for our youth. I actually would like to share Christopher's story. He's a 20-year-old male that is with Shannon West currently. He came to Las Vegas to escape some hardship in his home with his mother, but came here because his father lives here. He didn't have actually a very strong relationship for his father. It was very distant. And that situation didn't pan out for the young man. So, but he did manage while with his father to get his high school diploma and a job. And so one of the things that, but he couldn't afford like a weekly. He thought, you know, like most of us when we're 18, we think we kind of have it figured out. And so he actually entered Shannon West by referral from the Courtyard. And that's a very strong relationship, and we'd like to continue that. But he's doing well and thriving, and he should be ready to move out into his own apartment with his own saved money, probably in the next 3 to 6 months. And so we're really proud of Christopher and his what he's accomplished so far, and we look forward to continuing that sort of partnership with the city of Las Vegas. And with that, I know I have 20 seconds left. Dang. But the whole gang from Shannon West, for whatever you want to ask, are here and excitedly waiting to answer your questions.
Thank you. Everybody's coming in at 4 and 5 seconds less. That's awesome. I'll go ahead and open the floor up for any questions that you may have. Member Marlin.
Hi, and thanks very much. Appreciate the work you do. Could you elaborate a little bit on the audit findings and rectifying plans?
Yeah, thank you very much. So we did have a concern that was on our last audit, and that was because excitedly, Help Us Southern Nevada is entering into developing permanent supportive housing, single site. The city of Las Vegas is actually in for their home ARP dollars for $1 million to that apartment building that we're building. But like everything that is new to us, we actually went in thinking that we would be the primary and we would be the owner and operator. But as we move into single site, we realized that we needed to have a partner that has more expertise. So it was a timing of, because we had to create a partnership with our developer that operates affordable housing to be the landlord. And so they had to be a part-time owner. So we created an entity to own it. And it was a matter of timing in the reporting of this new entity and as well as the purchase of the land for building this property. We hope to close on financing by the end of this month, and so we'll go into construction at Tropicana and Boulder Highway for the first single site 50-unit permanent supportive housing development for the 0 to 30% income. Thank you for the question.
Thank you. Member Jackson.
You mentioned that the youth that are coming are disabled. What is that disability that you guys are seeing overall?
So some of it is a physical disability. Some of it is mental health, particularly. Some of it is deficits in learning. So we do find some of them that have been particularly challenging are the ones that are on the spectrum. They shouldn't be in the homeless services system. They should be in the disability system. However, we find that if they are homeless, that seems to be the top of the line and push them into the homeless services system. So those are some of the disabilities that we are encountering in our youth.
So you push them into the disability services as well, and you're able to get funding for them and that kind of thing, or?
As they are available, one of the things that we know here in Nevada is we are sorely under-resourced, and there is quite a bit of a waiting list. So sometimes, and in the past, we've literally had a youth on the spectrum waiting at Shannon West to be entered into that realm where we can access some benefits for them.
Member Friedman?
Hello, Member Freeman. Hi. So I have a question. You mentioned having a succession plan. So the question would be, as you are developing in that succession plan, what is the plan what plans are you putting in place to make sure that there are no additional material weaknesses, and with everything you have going on the table, that your team is prepared?
Yeah, so we've engaged a number of consultants to help us through some of these. So because we hadn't ever entered into this creation of basically affordable housing for the 0 to 30% AMI, we needed to tap into that, the partnership stronger of people who operate affordable housing developments. But on top of that, we also needed to, because it's a special funding source, home ARP, and so there's a lot of qualifying populations, and so we're even working with the Regional Housing Authority, because they also have a stake in it with project-based vouchers for this. So we are working to strengthen that because it was new to us, and then we also know that home ARP isn't coming around again. So it's just this one-time situation. But we do have our partners with City of Las Vegas and Clark County that are overseeing the home ARP dollars, and as well as Nevada Housing Division, to help us navigate through the home ARP situation.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we're going to run out of time, but I want to go ahead and give Member Burks and Member Jones-Zagaro an opportunity to speak. Member Burks. Okay, Member Burks has declined. Members Jones-Zagaro.
Okay, very quickly. You have case managers. You say a lot are disabled. Do they help with disability insurance?
Yes, we have case managers and residential monitors that man the facility, but we also have at Help Us Southern Nevada's office an embedded DWSS worker. She does split her time across the board through our housing programs, but it's been valuable. She's like a member of the of our team, and so anyone that we have a phone number to, we actively and sometimes annoyingly follow up with folks to get our youth, connected to what they need.
Thank you so much for your presentation and your time this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty, we'd like to call up Shine a Light. If you're here, please remember you have 5 minutes for your presentation. I will give you the 1 minute symbol when you hit 4 minutes. The board will have 5 minutes to ask questions. Please make sure you state your name when you speak for the record, and speak loudly. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning.
My name is Paul Votrino. I'm the Executive Director of Shine a Light Foundation.
And my name is George Petty. I'm the Program Director at Shine a Light Foundation.
And for anybody that knows me, I'm a very verbose individual, so I took some notes to help me stay within this 5 minute mark and kind of give you a snapshot of what Shine a Light is trying to accomplish in the county, in the valley, right? So we take an innovative and a holistic approach to bridging the gap between crisis, intervention, and lifelong recovery for individuals. No, it's all right. For individuals with a substance use disorder or co-occurring disorders. Sustained homelessness, in our opinion, is not the result of one cause or condition. It reflects the collapse of interconnected systems like housing, behavioral health, employment, and social connection. The deeper issue is that individuals experiencing homelessness are left to navigate fragmented systems on their own, without continuity, coordination, or long-term support. Shine a Light bridges these gaps using its continuity case management and IPATH model, guiding individuals through the Clark County safety net to connect housing, treatment, recovery, and employment supports in one coordinated system of care. When people receive seamless, compassionate care that meets them where they are, they rebuild stability, achieve long-term sobriety, and regain dignity, creating a bridge from crisis to self-sufficiency. So what does all that mean? IPATH to us is instant placement with access to treatment and housing. It's an arm of ours in the outreach space. We spend all week out there with the homeless camps, basically developing relationships. Our case managers develop relationships to meet them where they're at. We're not there to sell them a program. We're not there to ask them to come in. We're there to get to know them. Over time, those relationships yield a pretty decent curiosity for what it is that we're doing once you do accept our help. And that is an 18-month program that is a data sharing model that sees through the walls of other organizations and works together. One of the things that we realized is we cannot develop a program that seamlessly helps the holistic human being all under one roof. So, for example, we developed a WINGS program, which is an all-women's program for women that have experienced substance use disorder and DV. During that program, they'll see about 12 to 15 different partnerships, whether that's public or private partnerships, to help them therapeutically through housing, stabilization, whether that be job, identification, any of the sort. But the programming is designed that they are with a crew of women, all women ran programming, in order to help them focus more on what it is that they may need to focus on. We have a criminal justice program. We have an LGBTQ track. We also have a youth track. So the way we see it is by partnering with multiple 501s and public, private partners, we are able to find a solution that we can't necessarily solve on our own. One of the things that I think that we're very extremely proud of, our last two audits, 92% of every dollar went straight back to client programming. The year before that was 88%. And another thing that I think that we're extremely proud of is the number of touch points that these individuals see. Again, which I say is on average 12 to 15 different organizations within the city that help them through find their way, I guess, from homelessness to crisis stabilization to lifelong stabilization. Our current success rate right now is 64%. And for every 51 people that graduates our program, we yield about a $2.5 million savings based on the city's national average hospitalization stays, sheltering through cycles, as well as detoxes. So I think that about covers it all.
All right. Thank you so much. You did very, very well with your notes. Thank you. We'll go ahead and open the floor for any questions that anyone has for Shine a Light. The chair recognizes Member Jones-Zagaro.
So earlier you said something about, I know what you guys do, and look, you do phenomenal work with a very, very dangerous population. Your case manager, what are you, that you're looking for salary just for a case manager? What is going to be the role of that case manager? Because it sounds to me like you're more into going to meet the people where they are and then funneling them to other organizations.
I think that's actually one of the misconceptions. So we do, the model that we have created is called continuity case management. The idea there is it's not just to pass off to another organization. We co-case manage them alongside whatever organization they're in through the entire process. That way that there's a single case manager that's been with them maybe through the detox stage, the treatment stage, the transitional housing stage, the job development stage. Now, with each of those stages in our crisis system, you get a new case manager assigned to you. They focus on that one specific area. Once you complete, you're finished. The case manager that we use follows them and tracks the data of accomplishments, relapse, failures through that 18-month program, basically developing outcomes as opposed to outputs from each of those programs that they're enrolled in. So we can measure essentially what happens after 18 months of sustained programming, whether or not they can maintain sobriety after programming ceases, and or if they're a habitual need and they need to recycle through the programming. So the case manager essentially stands and helps get them through the program, and it would help us expand our reach into the individualized tracks, such as HYPE being helping young people elevate, our LGBTQ track that we would like to develop, the VETS track that we would like to develop. These case managers would help us prop an acuity focus on those specific tracks.
Member Caliendo.
Thank you. So I really appreciate what you just said about outcomes versus outputs and the thought that has gone into sort of how you've planned your case management. You've mentioned that you're hoping to serve 100 clients in this next fiscal year. Is that mostly with the outreach that the case manager is doing, or what percentage of those clients are going to be in these programs that you've discussed where you're measuring outcomes?
Yeah, it's an amazing question. So we don't actually factor in the outreach totals into those asks. We expect that we're going to, see 2-3 times as many of those people. So the 100 people are people that we intend to enroll into the programming and deliver data on success or failure.
Member Prado.
Hi, Member Prado. A quick question. Is there a particular geographic area of focus? They just said the narrative kind of mentioned flood channels, encampments, et cetera. And so is there an area in particular where this outreach is happening, or where your clients are coming from? And then can you speak a little bit about just so the trajectory of the organization? I was looking at the audit and it looked like significant grant receivables starting in 2024, and then where you're at now.
Sure. Our trajectory is to expand on more of drop-in centers so that there's more of an access point for these individuals throughout the valley. As far as our restrictions, so our roots come from we go underground. We were the ones that wanted to hit the guys that really aren't seen the most, that aren't, the service organizations may not go through the tunnels, and there's a lot of people missing that. What happens is the word gets around about the programming, how it's a partnered programming, how we're able to, and this is kind of part of the magic of it. If you relapse in one program, you don't relapse from Shine a Light. Therefore, you go back to Shine a Light and you get replaced. And they learn about this. This is a fail-safe program where they can have opportunities. So about 3 years into it, we expanded it above ground. But I would say our reach is as far as the tunnels go, above and below.
All righty. Thank you so much for your presentation. We
Thank you
appreciate
very
your
much.
time.
Yeah.
Next, we'll call Family Promise. Please remember every time you speak to give your name for the record and speak loudly. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today. I'm Marissa Cervantes, the Executive Director for Family Promise of Las Vegas, and we have, I'll let my staff introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is Cherry Richardson. I'm the Assistant Executive Director.
Hi, I'm Crystal. I am the Program and Compliance Director at Family Promise of Las Vegas.
Family Promise has served families in our community since 1996. And for nearly 30 years, our focus has been simple and consistent, keeping families together during times of crisis. Over the years, we've evolved alongside the needs of the community, from rotational shelter models to motel shelter, prevention, stabilization, and now transitional housing at our Family Navigation Center. What hasn't changed is who we serve. Families with children who are facing homelessness and housing instability. Today, we're seeing more families than ever entering the system, which is why the Pathway to Housing program is so important. This program ensures that when a family with children shows up with nowhere safe to sleep, there is an immediate dignified option that keeps them together and starts them on a clear path toward housing stability.
Thank you so much for today. So how families are referred to us, they are referred through partner agencies. We do receive different type of referrals, whether it's through phone calls, emails. We also have our case managers go out to resource events. Our other partners are including the rescue mission, the courtyard. Our response is immediate and family-centered. Instead of placing families in congregate settings or unsafe environments, we place them in our motel sheltering program. Each family receives their own private unit. There are a lockable door, their own bathroom, real beds, a kitchenette where the families can cook their own meals. That privacy does matter. It reduces trauma, restores dignity, and allows families to stabilize enough to focus on their next steps. Families can typically stay up to in the motel sheltering program for 90 days. During that time, they work closely with the case managers to address immediate needs that need stabilized income and create housing plans. Parents who are employed or have low income, we do have our workforce development program where our case manager works with them to resume building, mock interviews, work hard to help them get back into the employment and employer connections. For families who need additional times, often those rebuilding incomes or securing childcare, we extend their stay or transition them into our Family Navigation Center. At the Family Navigation Center, each family has their own private room with their own bathrooms, their own there's beds, they have a mini refrigerator, a microwave. It is community living. Families have access to share spaces like the parents' resource room, training room where they are able to check out a laptop to do whether it's for schooling for their children. It could be used for job searching as well. They do have shared kitchens. It is a closed space, so there's a playground, there's community areas that helps restore the sense of normalcy. Families can stay in transitional housing up for a year while continuing case management, employment support, financial coaching, and housing navigation until they're ready to sign their own lease and move into permanent housing.
And why CDBG and impact? The Pathway to Housing program works because it continues. It combines immediate shelter with long-term planning, and CDBG funding is essential to making that possible. The $65,000 we're requesting supports the most critical components of this work. Excuse me, case management, operational costs for transitional housing units, and direct client assistance, such as motel shelter stays and move-in support. These funds allow us to respond quickly when families are referred to us by the courtyard and ensure that no family is left waiting without a safe place to go. CDBG funding also allows us to serve families who meet city eligibility requirements while complementing other public and private funding sources. It helps us keep services flexible, timely, and aligned with what families need to stabilize. Ultimately, this program keeps children safe, keeps families together, and shortens the length of time families experience homelessness. With your support, we can continue providing a family-specific solution that fills a critical gap in the city's homeless response system. We truly appreciate your consideration and your continued partnership in ensuring that families with children are not left behind in our community's response to homelessness. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll open up the floor for any board member that has any questions for Family Promise. The chair recognizes Member Prado.
Prado?
Prado first, and then Member Jackson.
I had a question. This might be a highly technical question to either the organization or the staff. There's a mention in the risk assessment about material weaknesses in the single audit, but as I review the 24 audit, I can't find a single audit or a description of its. So can you speak to that?
There were no findings. I believe what was on the assessment was that Our finance team was very new at the time, and so when it came to submitting the single audit to the federal clearinghouse, that was past the 30-day window. And so the audit was fine and submitted, but I believe that is what was the concern.
Okay, great. And then there were some other just notes about capacity, leadership turnover, and some timeliness, so maybe you can just address those two, and the same risk assessment. Yeah.
So historically, a lot of people know who Terry Lindemann is. She's a legend and a friend of the organization, and she retired after about 19 years leading the organization. And over the last, I would say, 3 years, we did have some change in leadership and turnover. There was recruitment, and someone was hired who the board identified was not a great fit for the organization, so we parted ways. And then we brought in a new executive director who was on the organization's team for about a year and a half, but they chose to move on to an opportunity that was better suited for them. And so I've been with the organization for about 2 years, and so I was promoted to executive director in October of 2025.
Great. And then also on the risk assessment, it's a very, I guess, robust source of questions. There's a note about spend down targets for the current cycle. And so are you all on track for your current cycle?
We are on track for the current cycle for spend down, yes.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Member Jackson?
Well, most of my questions were answered because I was going to address the risk assessment as well. But are there parenting classes for the individuals, the family, parents that work with your organization or come into your organization to ensure that, that there's not that the homeless problem doesn't pass down generationally, and, how do you guys address that?
Sure. We do, but we always offer the families those options. We don't ever want to force anything on families. What we try to do, we specifically have a enrichment family program where we allow them to experience certain things in our community, and we offer, introduce things to families. And if they're willing, we will absolutely connect them to those resources.
And we provide additional education to the families as well. So as a team, we provide as many resources to help them build up and recover from the experiences that they had and to be fully prepared for transitioning to permanent housing on their own. So there's more than just parenting classes that we provide. There's financial literacy classes, a program we called Good Tenancy. We have workforce development to really help the families who are unemployed or underemployed have access to better employment and better higher paying jobs. And it's also removing gaps and barriers. So if someone has a barrier to becoming employed or to that higher paying job, we can step in with some of our flexible funds to help pay for certain certifications or items that they need. So we really provide holistic, all multi-purpose support to the families and to be able to support everybody in that family.
All righty. Thank you very much for your presentation. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Next, we'd like to call forward Foster Kinship. Foster Kinship, please be reminded that you have 5 minutes for your presentation. At 4 minutes, I will give you the 1 minute symbol, and then the board has 5 minutes to ask questions. Please make sure you speak loudly and that you give your name for the record every time you are responding or making a presentation. Good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today. My name is Paula Ramirez, and I serve as the Director of Strategic Engagement at Foster Kinship. We are Nevada's only nonprofit specializing in non-parental care for children raised in kinship and adoptive homes. Foster Kinship is requesting $70,000 in City of Las Vegas CDBG funding to improve long-term outcomes for children by strengthening low-income kinship families and stabilizing the housing and caregiving environments in which children live. Funds will support a Kinship Navigator hub paired with housing stabilization, therapy, and respite, an integrated approach that stabilizes caregivers and protects children's safety, continuity of care, and long-term well-being. In Southern Nevada, more than 26,000 children cannot safely live with their parents due to abuse or neglect and related traumas such as addiction, homelessness, and domestic violence. Most of these children are raised by grandparents or other relatives in kinship care. Kinship care is the preferred alternative because it allows children to remain safely with family. However, most caregivers do not receive the legal, financial, or supportive services tied to the foster care system. This gap creates instability for children, caregiver burnout, and increased risk of foster care entry or family homelessness. Foster Kinship's funding request is designed to close that gap for families in Las Vegas. The city would be investing in a proven solution. Foster Kinship's Navigator program is a federally recognized evidence-based model. It is the only Navigator program in the country that serves children both in and outside of the foster care system, and our model is currently licensed and replicated in 4 other states. Independent evaluation demonstrates strong outcomes, including increased access to benefits and improved placement stability, allowing therapeutic and youth services to take hold, which ultimately strengthens children's well-being and reduces the risk of disruption into foster care. In practice, our work stabilizes families by ensuring homes are safe, stable, and nurturing. When caregivers take in children with no notice, we step in immediately with basic necessities such as diapers, formula, and clothing, and we then support long-term stability by helping families secure legal custody and access financial benefits. For families at risk of eviction or homelessness due to the addition of children in their households, we provide short-term housing stabilization payments while permanent solutions are put in place. This request supports an enhanced Navigator model that builds on these core services by expanding trauma-informed services, including therapy, behavioral consultations, parenting training, and connection to our in-house mental health and behavioral health providers. These enhancements reduce caregiver burnout and promote healthy development and emotional well-being for children. With this $70,000 investment, Foster Kinship will serve 200 City of Las Vegas qualified kinship families. All funds are dedicated to direct services, including $20,000 for client needs such as rent payments, legal fees, and emergency resources. Services are delivered at our Las Vegas office, in caregivers' homes, and through phone and virtual options to ensure accessibility, and all services are provided in English and Spanish. Foster Kinship brings a strong and proven capacity to manage public dollars. We have a long history of successfully administering multiple public funding streams focused on family navigation, preservation, and training. Our internal controls, financial systems, and reporting practices have consistently met or exceeded monitoring standards. City of Las Vegas CDBG funding has been a critical part of that success. Over the past 9 years, CDBG funds have supported more than 1,800 kinship families, caring for at least 3,600 children. Because our services prevent foster care entry, the city's investment during that time has generated an estimated $27 million in public savings while keeping children safe with family. With continued CDBG support, Foster Kinship will expand evidence-based programming paired with targeted housing assistance and therapeutic services. Every dollar requested will support direct services for at least 360 children being raised by 200 families, helping them grow up safely with family, avoid homelessness and foster care, and experience stability during critical years. This request builds on a strong track record of compliance, measurable improvements for thousands of children, and responsible stewardship of public funds. Continued investment leverages an evidence-based, cost-effective model to improve child well-being, reduce system costs, and strengthen family stability across the City of Las Vegas. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and open the floor for any board member that'd like to ask any questions of Foster Kinship. Chair recognizes Member Jones-Segarra.
I just want to make sure I have this correct. So the children that you are dealing with are not part of the foster system, and you're helping the families who are taking them in so that they don't have to go into the foster system, correct?
Foster Kinship as a whole serves children that are both technically in the foster care system with relatives and children outside of the system, but this funding request specifically is for children who are not in the foster care system to prevent their entry. So they're being raised by their grandmother or aunt or uncle, and they're at risk of foster care entry due to lack of resources and support. So this model stabilizes the caregiver and the child to prevent the child from going into traditional foster foster care.
So you're basically helping the families with the added expense of taking in children.
Yes, and accessing stabilization services like legal capacity.
Thank you.
Do I have any further questions? I see someone's microphone is lit up.
Oh, mine.
Okay. Seeing no further questions, thank you so much for
Thank you.
coming and presenting for us. At this time, I am going to gavel us out for a break. Members, I'm going to ask you to be back by 10:40, and I gave you an extra minute.
You're so generous.
So generous. So generous. I'm going to gavel us back in and start over again from our break. Thank you, members, for being back on time. We're going to continue on with our presentations at this time. I am going to call forward Iron Sharpens Iron Mentoring Incorporated if they're here. Good morning. Please be reminded that you have 5 minutes to make your presentation. At minute 4, I will give you the 1-minute mark so that you can conclude your statements, and I can open the floor up for 5 minutes of questioning by board members. Please make sure you state your name for the record when you respond, and to speak loudly, good morning and welcome.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Yadira Breland. I serve on the Board of Advisors for Iron Sharpens Iron Mentoring, and I am so happy to be here today. Iron Sharpens Iron Mentoring is dedicated to providing evidence-based, trauma-informed mentoring and diversion programs for youth ages 9 to 18 who are involved or at risk of involvement in the juvenile justice system. Our mission is to reduce recidivism, prevent first-time offenses, and promote long-term success in education, career, and life by equipping young people with the skills, confidence, and support networks they need to thrive. This organization was founded in 2016 by Executive Director John Coach Williams. Iron Sharpens Iron believes that when youth are seen, supported, and surrounded by caring adults, they sharpen one another and their futures shine brighter. This organization operates with a commitment to equity, relationship-based mentoring, and community collaboration that promotes safety, stability, and opportunity for all youth in Clark County. So, services here are for youth participating in a 12-week group and one-on-one mentoring sessions using the Circle One Foundation and Positive Action curricula, which focus on communication, conflict resolution, and social-emotional learning. Each participant receives an individualized case plan following a comprehensive assessment and is connected to tutoring, counseling, or other wraparound supports. Parents engage in positive action parenting classes, family counseling, and peer support groups to reinforce progress at home. Iron Sharpen Iron Mentoring seeks CDBG funding to continue its evidence-based youth mentoring and diversion programs in Las Vegas, Nevada. This program provides trauma-informed mentoring and case management to reduce juvenile justice involvement, strengthen families, and improve community safety. The goal is to prevent and reduce youth crime and recidivism by offering consistent, relationship-based support that builds emotional resilience, academic engagement, and positive decision-making among youth ages 9 to 18. CDBG funding will allow Las Vegas youth who meet income eligibility criteria to receive full diversion and mentoring services at no cost. This includes structured mentoring, family engagement, and access to supportive resources designed to prevent delinquency and promote success. Funds will support program staffing, mentoring training, facility use and transportation, and family engagement costs. Through this investment, Iron Sharpens Iron Mentoring will continue serving local youth and families, sustaining access to safe, structured mentoring that prevents juvenile justice involvement, promotes public safety, and strengthens community stability across Las Vegas. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. At this time, I'll open the floor up for any board member that has any questions for Iron Sharpens Iron. Chair recognizes Member Jackson.
Hi. I think this is a needed program, mentorship I totally believe in. I've been a mentor myself. I just was wondering, like, in terms of the executive director, on the budget, what does the executive director, what are they doing in the program?
Well, he actually promotes he promotes all of the communication in the community, actually. He's been building many partnerships with the city, the county, and actually with the police department. And so he oversees the program as well. He steps in and mentors many of the youth, most of the one-on-one communication with them as well. He has been a coach for over 40 years and is really great at mentoring.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Chair recognizes Member Jones-Zagaro.
Just real quickly, you say the children are 9 to 18. Where do you get those referrals from?
Many have come from the harbor. We have a contract together with the harbor, and also the court system. They do get referred over to us, so they are usually ages 9 to 18, as long as they are still in school, registered in school. And then we do have assessments when we meet with them, and we have resources that we can offer to them.
Chair recognizes Member Prado and then Member Lathrop.
Hello, hi, Member Prado here. I have two quick questions. One is around just clarifying the client target. I think the narrative states that the program would serve 30 clients, but then the client target like box says 65, so I'm not sure which one is. And then so that's maybe a technical question. The broader questions around kind of the trajectory of the organization looks like significant growth over the last few years, and then that this ask would represent a pretty significant amount given like the organization's current assets and all that. And so just a base understanding of where the organization's at and how significant this funding source is to the overall set of programs the organization has.
Yes, correct. I think it might have been not explained correctly, but yes, we are looking to grow from 30 actually to 65 additional youths to see. We are communicating with and trying to acquire more resources so that we can get more referrals in order to see more youth throughout the year. It is a very needed resource in the community. We see a lot of parents that are also looking online and calling to get more information, so we are getting more walk-in traffic as well. That's mostly what this resource would be used for, to increase the staff as well to support the additional youth that we are going to be seeing.
And just to clarify, now maybe not a scientific answer, but to what extent would this represent like a part of the pie chart of the organization's overall activities for the upcoming school year then?
Can you rephrase that question?
Meaning, if this grant were to be awarded or not awarded, what percentage of the upcoming activities would it impact for the whole organization, not just this program?
I think it would impact the whole organization because we are going to be increasing numbers, increasing service. We do have service right now on Saturdays. We have up to 3 groups at a time. We would be using the facility more often. We would be needing more support in organization and more mentors as well.
Member Lathrop?
Yeah, I'm curious about your one-on-one mentor individuals, what kind of formal training they have, or maybe how you prioritize their own personal experiences. What's important for those types of people, and how do you assess people coming into that role and whether they're effective and fit into your program?
We currently have a social worker on site who does do the one-on-one sessions with the youth. She has over 5 years of experience, and we are looking to maybe add on an additional person to provide more support for the youth. Many of the youth do come in.
Keep going.
Sorry. Do come in having different needs. More and more we have youth with social anxiety, unable to communicate, and they are needing more one-on-one, so we do need a second resources other than the one that we have now. They are assessed at the beginning with the application. There's an assessment to see which subjects need to be covered as a group, and then also if they need the one-on-one support as well.
We're out of time, but I'm recommending that person, individual, looks like and has a background and understands the type of person that they're helping, and less formally licensed clinical social worker, but more comes from the neighborhood, knows comes from that type of situation.
Okay, thank you.
Alrighty, and thank you for your presentation. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
All right, moving forward, I'll call down the YMCA, Young Men's Christian Association of Southern Nevada, Durango Hills. Again, remember, you have 5 minutes for your presentation. When you get to 4 minutes, I will give you the 1 minute cue that you have 1 more minute to wrap up. Then the board will have the floor to ask 5 minutes of question. Please make sure that you state your name for the record when you're speaking or responding to a question, and speak loudly. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. My name is Lisa Tomlin, and I am the VP of Mission Advancement for the YMCA of Southern Nevada.
And I am Danielle Donahoe. I am the Association Preschool Director for the YMCA of Southern Nevada.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity for us to be here today. For more than 80 years, the YMCA has strengthened this community by supporting children, families, individuals at every stage of life. Today we're here because access to affordable, high-quality childcare is not just a family issue. It's a workforce issue, an education issue, and ultimately an economic issue. Each year, the YMCA serves more than 61,000 individuals across Southern Nevada. 73 of those that we serve come from low to moderate income households. Our commitment is clear. No one is turned away due to inability to pay. As a trusted provider of early childhood education and family support, we remove financial barriers so parents can work, children can learn, and families can achieve long-term stability.
Early childhood is a critical period that shapes learning, behavior, and long-term success. By the time a child enters kindergarten, the foundation for academic achievement and social development has already been formed. Access to high-quality early learning helps children build confidence, social skills, and readiness for school, while also supporting families as they work to achieve stability and self-sufficiency. When children receive the support they need early, they are more likely to succeed in school, graduate, and contribute positively to their communities. Early childhood education is not a short-term service. It is a long-term investment in children, families, and the future of our community. The cost of licensed childcare in Clark County is extremely high. Nevada ranks 17th least affordable for childcare, meaning 68% of states offer more affordable options for families. A single parent with an infant and preschooler can spend up to 58% of their income on childcare and still not qualify for assistance. The YMCA is uniquely positioned to respond to this crisis. As the nation's largest nonprofit childcare provider, the Y offers fully licensed, high-quality programs that accept subsidies, ensuring care remains affordable for working families. Quality is upheld through participation in QRIS, the Early Childhood Quality Rating System, and YMCA programs are frequently recognized by United Way as models for other providers. We also implement one of the strongest evidence-based early learning curricula in the nation and ensure that it is accessible for the youth who need it most. Among a plethora of additional benefits, a 35-year longitudinal study found that participants of this curriculum have higher IQ and school test scores, are more motivated and engaged in school, are less likely to drop out of high school, be arrested, or need welfare services. They also have a 14% higher earnings in adulthood.
Access to high-quality early learning strengthens working families today while shaping brighter futures for our children. For 5 years, this partnership has helped working families stay employed while preparing children for long-term success. Today, the YMCA is requesting $110,000 to sustain the 10 full-day CDBG seats and additional 10 seats, immediately reducing our wait list and expanding access for families who are ready to work. With childcare costing about $12,000 a year, access to affordable care remains the greatest barrier to economic stability. At the YMCA, 45% of our families pay nothing, and 55% of our families pay an average of $7,200 a year. This funding is projected to generate approximately $1.7 million in economic impact, strengthening workforce participation, reducing reliance on public assistance, and improving long-term educational outcomes. On the behalf of the YMCA of Southern Nevada, we thank you for your partnership and your commitment as we address today's child care challenges and build a stronger community for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll open up the floor to any board member that'd like to ask questions. The chair recognizes Member Caliendo, Member Prado, and then Member Haddad Bennett.
Hi, good morning, thank you. I think I just heard you say that you are wanting to fund 20 seats with this funding. The application says 15 clients, so I just wanted to confirm which number it is.
20.
20. And then are these 20 seats for families who are paying nothing? The 45% of families that pay nothing, these children are attending for free?
Yes.
Okay. And how do you determine which families get to participate in these seats? I'm sure the wait list is quite long.
So we do it based off of their income, and if they qualify based off of their income, then they are able to attend for free, so that we have income guidelines.
So is it like first come, first served, or how are we
Yeah.
prioritizing families?
So it'd be first come, first served with it, and our families that are under the 200% of the poverty level.
Okay, thank you.
Member Prado?
Yeah, I have a question. In my daily life, I run a elementary school that just ramped up pre-K through Nevada Ready pre-K, and I noticed the YMCA appears to have done so also. So I'm just curious, like, is this source of fund now primarily funding 3-year-olds? Because 4-year-olds have greater access to full-day pre-K for free, in theory. For future planning purposes, is there a scenario where approval of these funds would limit the ability to accept Nevada Ready pre-K seats, which may be forthcoming because of physical, facility limitations, so on and so forth. So if you can just speak to me to what has happened over the last year with the deployment and potential future deployment of Nevada Ready pre-K, and maybe the profile in terms of age of the students who are participating.
Yeah, so for our Nevada Ready students, they do have to be those 4-year-olds, so we serve our 4 to 5s. Previously, we were able to serve the 3s under the Nevada Ready grant as well, but that was pulled back. So right now, we are serving at the Durango Hills location the ages 4 to 5.
Okay, and so there is no 3-year-olds that are participating in the CDBG program or anticipated to participate in the CDBG program?
Not at this location, no.
Member Haddad Bennett, did you have a question? Okay, I'm going to switch those up. Okay, so Member Jackson.
Hi. Yes, I was wondering, first of all, I see your assistant director, 30%, 13,000. What are they doing? What is that individual doing? And I wanted to know about the glossy deal. Is this just for your organization? Or, I'm just curious, what do you use this for? Is it just for us, or is this marketing, or?
No, it's for our donors. So when we're meeting with donors, it's something that we put together for them.
Okay.
That comes out of our capital campaign funding.
Okay.
That provides those type of things.
Thank you.
And then for our assistant director, she helps oversee a lot of the paperwork in lieu with the director, and then she's also helping within the classrooms that serve our CDBG students.
Thanks.
All right, are there any further questions for the YMCA? Seeing none, thank you very much for your presentation. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Next, I'll call Olive Crest. Please remember, you have 5 minutes for your presentation. When you get to the 4-minute mark, I'll give you the symbol. You have 1 minute to wrap up, then 5 minutes of questions from the board. Please make sure that you speak loudly and that you state your name when you speak or are responding to a question. For the record, we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Alyssa Dennison-Glasgow. I am the Regional Programs Director.
Hi, I'm Jenny Fay, and I'm the Community Engagement and Development Director.
And I will never forget when I heard Faith share that she spent her 12th birthday at Child Haven, and she talked about how odd it was to have a room full of strangers sing happy birthday to her. And she shared that that sent her life on a spiral, pretty out of control for the next several years, that then included the years when she aged out of foster care, still in a spiral. And it wasn't until she found Olive Crest and our teen and young adult independent living program that things started to change. Our teen and young adult program is part of the array of programs that Olive Crest offers working to end child abuse and neglect. And I'll hand it over to Alyssa to share a little more specifically about that program working to equip for life these teens and young adults who've aged out of foster care.
Our Teens and Young Adults program is for kids who have aged out of foster care, but we're not just providing housing for these kids, we're providing independent living skills to help launch them into their own independence when they're done with us. So some of the things we require them to do is they must participate in weekly meetings with our Olive Crest staff to go over individualized goals. That can be education, employment, even things, I know we're doing, a young man's working on cooking right now. He doesn't know how to cook, we're gonna help him learn how to cook. We also require them to participate in monthly life skills sessions workshops that we help have community partners come in to teach them things like financial literacy, cooking, cleaning. We just implemented, our program manager has started having them volunteer quarterly. So they go back to Project 150 and other places to volunteer because they're getting something and now it's time for them to give back as well. We do require them also to have mentors because it's important for these young people who aged out of the foster care system, doesn't really have that much of a family support, to have people other than our Olive Crest staff to come and support them, to meet with them monthly, to be able to answer their phone calls, their questions. We have a robust mentorship program that every program participant is required to have a mentor. This is one of our only Olive Crest programs where we require program fees, and that's for a couple of reasons. One, the housing that they're living in is apartments rented by Olive Crest. They pay a small portion. It starts at $550 a month, $450 for cable, Wi-Fi, utilities. But if you rent or own an apartment, that doesn't go very far, and they're learning, they're growing. We subsidize the rest as Olive Crest, but $100 of that goes to a savings account for them. So in that savings account, they're able to rack up a savings that Olive Crest will then match up to $2,500 when they successfully end the program. And they say, you know what, I'm done, I have my apartment. That helps also launch them into independence because they think about all the, I have an apartment, but how are you gonna furnish that apartment? So we'll match up the $2,500 when they complete the program successfully. They also get to take their furniture with them, just helping them, again, launch into independence, because I had someone help me, right? We all turned 18, 19, 20 and had someone help us. Our goal is to make sure that they have people able to help them as well. The program is designed to equip these former foster youth to launch into independence. I'm gonna turn it back over to Jenny.
So our teen and young adult independent living program is actually our most expensive program per program participant to run, which is a little bit of a commentary on the problem of if we can't get to families to prevent the issue before the child goes into foster care, if we can't get to the family while that child's in foster care and then that child just turns 18 and they age out, the costs financially and societally will be far higher if we can't start addressing that problem. And so one of the goals of our teen and young adult program is to help break the generational cycles of abuse and neglect that these young people grew up in. Because studies show that typically young people who are in foster care, who age out, they repeat the cycle. They have children early who then go into foster care, and then the cycle repeats. And Faith, the young woman that I actually mentioned at the beginning, she recently rejoined the program because she just took custody of her 12-year-old sister who went into foster care. And Faith was determined for life to be different, but knew she needed the supports. So yes, the supports of the teen and young adult program, but also the supports of our prevention programs, the supports of our foster program, so that life could be different for them.
All righty, thank you very much. I'll open up the floor for any questions that anyone has for our speakers from Olive Crest. Member Haddad Bennett.
Thank you, Patricia Haddad Bennett. Thank you guys for your presentation. Thanks for what you do. Just a question, looking at the risk analysis, it said you were about 23% spend down in September. I'm just curious where you guys are at now at this point.
Oh, and that is actually for our foster program. And at this point, I believe that we are 60%
On track.
right now. Yeah, like we're on track, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Member Jones Sagaro.
Good morning. Thanks for what you do. This is overwhelming, all of these organizations. I think what you guys do are fantastic. The problem is there's only so much money, and it's a hard decision that we will face. What happens when we can't fund or partially fund your program?
I probably shouldn't say this, but I will anyway. We'll just hustle harder to find private funding. The program has to exist, so we'll just work harder, put in more hours. Like, we'll just have to figure out some other way to make it happen. But these young people have to have the program.
Chair recognizes Member Caliendo.
Hi, thank you. Good morning. I love the sort of required, the mentorship, the meetings, all of those things. What happens if you have a youth who's non-compliant?
It happens more than you think. They get complacent and then they, oh, I'm not going to make it, or I'm not going to do that. We have steps in place. They have to sign our program agreement where they agree to participate in all of these things. When they don't, we have kind of a three-step program of, okay, this is your written warning, this is what you need to do. Or if they have like a legitimate reason why they can't attend in some of these things, we have them volunteer. Either come to our office and volunteer filling food bags for our Children and Family Resource Center, or we've developed a really great relationship with Project 150. And we're like, okay, you're going to go volunteer to make up for these hours that you didn't. The second written warning is, okay, here's another written warning, and if you don't do it again, then you're going to get a 60-day plan. And in those 60 days, you need to have full compliance with XYZ, or you have to look for another place to live.
Member Prado.
I just wanted to maybe have an understanding of the landscape and the ecosystem. Is anybody else doing anything like this, or what percentage of the need is met and so on?
Are you ready for a really grim number? So on any given day, there's about 300 teens and young adults who've aged out who are that 18 to 21 age. As best as we can figure out, the only other program that's independent living in apartments is St. Jude's The Crossing. They have 16 beds, and we have 16 beds. So there are enough beds programmatically for youth who've aged out of foster care, independent living, for 1/10 of the population.
Is there any, I encountered this one because I was in student government, and I remember it shocked me. There's sometimes students who have full rides and the ability to enter dorms. If they don't have a bank account, they can't get their sheets, so they end up having low perseverance. Is there any support that you provide to any students entering higher ed?
Yes. So kids who age out of foster care, I don't know if you're aware, they get a stipend from this county or from the state every month. It's about almost $1,000 a month. So, but they also get free tuition. What they don't tell you is in that free tuition doesn't include dorm expenses, doesn't include food, doesn't include that. So helping to provide them with independent living skills as well. So we've had young adults who reach our age max and then have just started college. We made the adjustment to say, okay, we're going to keep you a little bit longer because it doesn't make sense for you to go in and start this whole new life experience and find new housing. We have invited in the past, or we have invited and continue to invite the independent living clients, so kids who are in that 16 to 18 age range. We sent that invitation out to the county to participate in any of our life skills workshops. We have also sent it out to Clark County Step Up, who kind of cover, again, the kids who aren't in our program. Any kid who's aged out of foster care goes to Step Up if they're still not in foster care. We have extended that invitation for our life skills workshops to go over budgeting, to go over here's what resources. We've also resourced to some of our other Olive Crest programs, including our Children and Family Resource Center that provides tangible items and resources and referrals to other agency partners.
Alrighty, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving forward, we'll call forward the Las Vegas Area Council Incorporated, Boy Scouts of America. If you are here, please be reminded you have 5 minutes for your presentation. At the 4-minute mark, I will give you the 1-minute warning. Then we'll open up the floor for board members to ask any questions. Please, when you speak, please give your name for the record and speak loudly. Good morning and welcome.
Welcome. My name is Scott Fuller. I am the Chief Operating Officer for the Las Vegas Area Council.
My name is Chloe St. George. I am the Special Programs Manager for the Las Vegas Area Council.
And together we're here to present our grant request for $65,000 per year for the CDBG funding to expand our character outreach into low and moderate income youth in the community. Our mission together for Scouting is to prepare young people to make ethical and moral decisions throughout their lifetimes by instilling in them the values of the Scout Oath and Law. We partner together in this area to be able to expand our outreach, and our funding here would allow us to grow our outreach beyond our 1,400 youth today to 1,650 youth.
Our outreach program provides free scouting to children in presumed benefit areas, including Title I elementary schools, Southern Nevada Housing Regional Authority sites, including Sherman and Landsman Gardens, youth in foster care through the Clark County Family Services, and youth with developmental disabilities via foster kinship. Services include weekly meetings using this official scouting curriculum on STEM, citizenship, outdoor skills and fitness, monthly respite camps for foster families, and adapted sensory-friendly activities with one-on-one support for those with disabilities. All of the barriers are removed for our scouts, and that includes uniforms, supplies, and registration fees or any fees. We deliver the program on site at partner locations to make it accessible, serving over 1,400 youth total per year, with no individual income verification needed, since 100% of our sites qualify as low to moderate income under the HUD guidelines. This aligns with CDBG's national objective of benefiting low and moderate income persons and the city's focus on youth services.
In Southern Nevada, 18% of children under 18 live in poverty, higher than the national average, and Nevada ranks 47th in child well-being. Our target youth face chronic absenteeism, higher suspension rates, and trauma, with over 2,500 kids in out-of-house placements and 20,000 youth with disabilities. Waitlists for after-school programming like SafeKey exceed 500 per site, highlighting the gap. Without programs like Scouting, these kids risk academic failure and delinquency. Our outreach programs address this by building resiliency, improving attendance, and reducing inappropriate behaviors directly linked to solutions. For example, we've scaled from 208 youth in 2021 to nearly 1,600 youth in 2024, a 780% growth, with 80% achieving advancements, learning first aid, and contributing 950 plus service hours over last year. Partnerships with SafeKey, Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority, Clark County Family Services, and Foster Kinship ensure no duplicate, amplifying impact through shared spaces and referrals.
Our program is evidence-based, supported by studies like Tufts University's 2012 to 2015 research on over 2,000 youth, showing Scouts gain significant cheerfulness, helpfulness, self-regulation, and values, outcomes which are amplified by regular attendance in our program. Baylor's Merit Beyond the Badges study found that Scouts are 60% more likely to lead and engage civically, and Scouting America's 2024 Scouting Edge report shows 20 to 25% higher scores in trustworthiness and empathy among their participants. We track our success via an online tracking system and attendance sheets, and we report quarterly. Outcomes include 92% of our Scouts earning advancements, 95% in disability awareness activities, and measurable reductions in at-risk behaviors by 20 to 30%. At $260 per youth, this is a cost-effective, fostering long-term community ties, and aligns with the city's consolidated plan for youth equity.
The $65,000 request covers $45,000 for program aides to go into these sites and deliver these programs, over $5,000 for new supplies, and $15,000 for registration into Scouting America, totaling $130,000 over a 2-year period for these 250 youth annually. We've successfully managed federal funds like a $540,000 ARPA grant with clean audits and no issues. Sustainability, comes from diverse fundings, 15% growing annually in our annual giving campaigns, events, private grants, aiming for 80% non-CDBG funding by 2027.
The Scouting Outreach Program builds a stronger Las Vegas by empowering our vulnerable youth with skills for life. We appreciate your consideration and are ready to comply with the CDBG's requirements. Thank you, and we're happy to answer your questions.
Thank you. I'll open up the floor for any board member that has questions. Member Haddad Bennett and then Member Prado.
Hi, good morning. Patricia Haddad Bennett. Can you just expand a little bit on what you were talking about? The 15,000 for, I'm looking at it, it says scholarships, but it sounded like a membership
Yeah,
fee.
good question.
Yeah.
So within Scouting America, we have two different price levels. For our existing youth at $85 per year to be registered in Scouting America, those go to our national office in Irving, Texas. And then for our outreach efforts, that's $30 per youth to participate. And so the $15,000 would be representative of these 250 youth over that 2 years registering in Scouting America.
Member Prado.
So maybe a technical question that maybe partially staff can answer, maybe you can respond, but I recall in prior grant cycles, proposals for, say, field trips for Title I schools, and the challenge there being the individual eligibility of a person and tracking that and the intake and so on and so forth. And so I noted in your presentation, but also in your application, that you noted that you don't specifically track the information of the participants because they are attached to Title I schools, and the application states 70% plus. At my understanding, in Clark County, they're now all considered that due to community eligibility provision, which creates a whole other problem of like now we can't even tell the difference between the schools, much less the individuals. So can you speak maybe to how you do tell the difference between the schools, and then is there any issue with matching to the school versus the individual for intake purposes or tracking or requirements of the CDBG grant in terms of tracking the clients?
Fair question. I will speak to that. When we go to our outreach schools or housing authorities, like we go to Sherman's Gardens or Landsman's Gardens, we are primarily focusing on those schools that are 100% free and reduced lunch rates as we're going out to those schools. As they register into the scouting program, and even with our partnerships where they may have a modified registration, we are tracking youth individually, and our online tracking mechanism now is called Scoutbook. And so when we do our attendance sheets and participate in their programs, we track those scouts individually so we can be able to track how many are earning those citizenship merit badges or their outreach efforts. So once we get into those programs targeting those high free and reduced rate schools and housing partnerships, they are tracked individually at that point.
Tim Glisson, Grant Program Coordinator. So you are correct. They will have to be tracked individually, and the household's income will have to be verified to make sure they're eligible that way.
I know you mentioned you track their sort of progress in the program. I'm just wondering if you have the infrastructure or the ability to actually collect household information.
We can do that, yes.
Seeing no further questions, thank you so much for your presentation. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next on our agenda would be leaders in training, if they're here. Pleased to remind you, you have 5 minutes for your presentation. At minute 4, I will give you the 1 minute mark so you can close your remarks. And then we open the floor for 5 minutes of questioning by board members. Please make sure you speak loudly and state your name when you're speaking for the record. Thank you for your time and welcome.
Thank you. My name is Dr. Martha Castillo. I am the Executive Director of Leaders in Training, and I'm joined by Monica Linnes, our Assistant Director of High School Programs. LIT was founded in 2012 by a Las Vegas classroom teacher responding to what students were telling her they needed. Consistent academic guidance, leadership, development, and support navigating college access in the school system with high counselor-student ratios. For the past 12 years, LIT has operated as a voluntary, community-based high school leadership program serving primarily low and moderate income first-generation students across Las Vegas. Since 2012, we have served 199 students across 10 cohorts. We currently serve approximately 100 students annually. 100% of participating seniors complete college application and FAFSA. 99% of students identify as students of color. The majority reside within the city of Las Vegas. Our program is not school-based. Students choose to participate. We maintain attendance, expectations, and accountability standards to ensure engagement and measurable outcomes. Our request today is $65,000 to support direct program delivery within the city of Las Vegas. CDBG funding would support partial salaries of 2 high school program managers who provide direct case management, direct student costs including college application fees, ACT materials, and leadership development events. No administrative salaries are charged to this request. The executive director and assistant director are supported through other funding sources. This investment allows us to stabilize core staffing and expand access to additional Las Vegas students without increasing program costs to our families.
Good morning. My name is Monica Lenis. I serve as the assistant director at LIT, and I oversee daily program operations. Leaders who choose to be in this program participate in 24 structured weekly sessions across fall and spring. So 12 sessions in the fall, 12 sessions in the spring. Our leaders, based on grade level, receive academic monitoring, grade checks, ACT preparation, college completion, and FAFSA or alternative needs application forms. They also receive leadership workshops and community service engagement. Our program managers track things like attendance, GPA updates, FAFSA completion, alternative needs as well, and any college application milestones through an internal structured case management system. We currently have 2 program managers that operate or oversee, 2 cohorts, so a caseload of no more than 50 students. They see students on a weekly basis. The CDBG funds will directly support their staff positions as they have a hands-on and direct engagement with our students. Thank you.
And in closing, LIT is not a startup. We are a 12-year Las Vegas nonprofit with established fiscal systems, diversified funding, and demonstrated outcomes. We are seeking a partnership with the City of Las Vegas to continue expanding college access for low and moderate income students who choose to invest in their future. I also would like to share a little bit about what's in the one-pager. We have several leaders that actually are currently serving in the City of Las Vegas, and we take pride in investing in the leaders who are our students. They are the future. Monica and myself are first generation, and we benefited in some capacity from a community-based organization that supported us and helped make it through. So that is our hope, to continue building leaders. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll open up the floor to board members that would like to ask questions of leaders in training. Be back there. The floor, Chair recognizes Member Caliendo.
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much for what you do. Really appreciate the work that has gone into the 4-year design and the outcomes that you're achieving. You've been around for, this is your 16th year, and you haven't had to use government funding specifically. So what has changed, or what's the plan for the future? And also, with those 45 students that this would support, since this is 1 year at a time funding, but your program model is really, many years, what does it look like if funding changes for those students?
That's a great question. So that's actually a question that I have too. Why have we not tapped into our funding that's near, right, here in Las Vegas? And I think for me, that is something that I dedicated myself to changing when I came in. I came into leadership about 6 months ago, and I take serving our families and our students very seriously. And I also think that it's programs like this, the CDBG fund, that allow us to partner together, right, government and nonprofit, to get the work done, because it takes a village, like they say, right? And in terms of funding, we have other sources of funding. And I think for me, the biggest hope, and as you can tell from my request, is I am just wanting to make sure that we have our staff, because they are the ones that make the work possible. It's that casework, it's that relationship building. It's very different from other models that currently exist. And I've been in the college access space for more than 10 years, and I know that this works. And it takes time, but we're working on building that funding as well.
I'm looking clear here. All right. So thank you very much for your presentation. We appreciate you. Thank you again. All right. About to conclude with agenda item number 5. I'd like to call down Real Talk Youth Impact Program, if they're present, or are we ahead of schedule? I think we're ahead of schedule. How much minutes are we at? We're about 12 minutes schedule. Want to take a quick break, or the city, or Mr. Wigger, do you have a?
Colleen Duergar, Neighborhood Services. We can take another quick break.
All righty, I know you like that. We'll go ahead and gavel out and wait for our last presentation. Be back in about 10 minutes. Thank you. Get you out of here, boy. I have a I'm going to go ahead and gavel us back in. It's 11:40, and I think that our presenters are here, so we can begin doing our duties for our community at this time. I'd like to call Real Talk Youth Impact Program. If they're here, please come on down. You have 5 minutes for your presentation. At the 4-minute mark, I will give you the 1-minute warning so you can close up your comments. And then I'll open the floor for 5 minutes for board members to ask questions. Please make sure that you state your name when you're speaking in response to any questions or presentation. Please speak loudly. Thank you very much and welcome.
Thank you very much. How's everybody doing this morning?
Doing
I'm
good.
gonna liven it up a little bit. It's too quiet in here. Feel like I want to go to sleep. My name is Cherie Cornell. I'm the founder and executive director of the Real Talk Youth Impact Program. We've been active for the last 2012 we incorporated. And this is one of my board members, Don. I always pronounce his name wrong, so I'll just say Mr. Don. And he's been with me now with the board for about 9 months. But he's been involved with me for about 14 months. So Real Talk. I'm assuming that you all are familiar with what's happening in our juvenile justice system. I hope. I'm a retired federal probation officer. I was a juvenile parole officer prior to that. On any given day here in your valley, about 516 kids are possibly or likely locked up. And that's through all the 5 different institutions that we have here. Now, if we calculate all of this, and let's just break it down a little quicker, and I know I got 4 minutes. We have a detention facility that holds kids about 168 max, $240 a day, times 30 days. So basically the map is $1 million a month, times 6 months is a standard stay in a facility. So we're at $7 million. So what Real Talk is here to do to curb that appetite. We use ex-felons to talk to our kids about choices and how not to end up like them. We give these kids raw feedback as to the do's and don'ts of life. We also have a mandatory parent group wherein the parents are free to share what they do in their homes, what issues they're having with their kids, and our 3 speakers sit with the parents and discuss the things that they could possibly look at to do things differently or maybe give them some solutions because they were once those kids. I call them doctorates of the streets. And then we have a processing group, which is where our graduates, it's a 4-month-long program at once a month. And our graduates are in this processing group with Dr. Keith, and they sit and talk about the things that they've learned in the program, what their 2 favorite affirmations are from the program, and why. And then we also have 2 speakers, again, system-affected folks, that sit and talk with the kids, too, to give them any feedback that they wish to have or any questions they may have of the speakers for the 4-month period. So the last thing we do, which is, 2 things. Last thing we do is give them opportunities for positive changes. They have to go home. They can't stay here all night with our program. So we offer them up to $150 scholarships to wherever they want to do, activity-wise, and we pay for it. Up to $150, whatever it is, and they can get that as easy as 8 days out from the day of the program. From working in the system, I understand the necessity of getting things done right away and not just having things linger on, because you got to get a kid excited about things. So since then, since we opened up, we have given away over $355,000 in kids sponsorship activities. We've sponsored over 330 kids. We've had over 2,200 kids through our program, and we've graduated over 1,200. I've been keeping stats. We're evidence-based. I've been keeping stats since I started the program. So our goal is to continue to reduce the recidivism rate. UNLV did a study on my program in 2017, and it reflected we were reducing recidivism by 17.5%. We've had over 1,000 kids court-ordered from the juvenile system, but we're more proactive than reactive. That was my goal initially, to be reactive. Our program is a proactive and reactive program. So most of our kids are now, because of word of mouth, are coming from the community, and we are getting them actively involved. But we need more help. My staff, full-time staff, there's 3 of us, me, myself, and I, and we're all tired. So I'm looking to find grants. We've applied many times. We continue to apply. So my goal is to make sure that we continue to give these kids what they need to be responsible, productive citizens, and be able to allow them to have an opportunity for positive change like I did as a young girl, 15 and a half. I got a full story. I'm a 2-time author. I've written a book about Real Talk and why I created it. And the second book that I just wrote was about people who understand or need to find out what their calling is. I know I'm abiding in mine, and my goal is to continue to change lives and save lives and continue to rebuild the family structure that's lost. So I thank you for your time.
Thank you. And I'll open the floor up for any questions that we have for Real Talk. I think you got them quiet.
It's too quiet. I told you it's too quiet at the beginning.
Unless my co-chair wants to jump on and ask a question, Chair recognizes co-chair McKnight.
How do people hear about your program?
Word of mouth, really, and news. We've been on the news several times over. We just literally were gifted this 10,000 square foot building. I have deed in hand. We're celebrating actually on Friday for a ribbon cutting. We've been there for 4 years, and the owner just gave me the building.
Cool.
God's amazing.
Chair recognizes Member Haddad Bennett.
Thank you, Patricia Haddad Bennett. So on that same topic, I see in your budget, you're asking for HOA dues?
Yes.
Specifically? Could you just tell us a little bit of context if it's a...
I wish I could say it was different. So when we got the building, the owner was paying for everything for us. And about 2.5 years in, he said, okay, it's time. Basically, I need some skin in the game. So we don't pay rent. We didn't pay rent, and he turned over basically saying, you guys need to start paying the HOA dues and a couple other things in the bills that have with the building. And I think, honestly, now looking back in retrospect, I think he was preparing to give the building to me. He just wanted to see if we can sustain it. It's a beautiful building. It's literally right next to CSN around the corner, but he purchased it in 2020 for me to use for my program. And he then also gave me $150,000 to renovate the top half to see fit of how the program should be operating according to my standards. So HOA dues is it's just like a house HOA due, basically it upkeeps the surrounding buildings and on our lot as well.
Chair recognizes Member Jones Sagaro.
Yeah, y'all need it.
Chair recognizes Member Jackson.
So in regard to your board, and I see you have your board member here, I'd like to ask about the involvement, and are they fundraising, doing governance, all the things, and a little bit about strategy moving forward.
You want me to answer that?
No, your board.
Oh, okay.
I first met Cherie through a business group. I myself never had kids, and I realized this was my calling to try to help kids. And part of it's selfish, because I figure every kid we save is one less that might hurt me in the future as a citizen, as an adult. If you'll indulge me, for those of you who've heard this before, I apologize, but there's something called the starfish story about a little girl trying to save starfish by throwing them back in the ocean one at a time, and her father questions her, and he says, you can't save them all, and she grabs one and another one and chucks it in the ocean. She says, I just saved that one. That's how I look at this. We got to try to save every kid we can. We don't know which ones we're going to save and which ones we won't, but we try on every one. And that is my passion for this, and I'm happy to be a part of it. Did I answer your question properly?
I appreciate your passion, but I just was wondering about fundraising. Are you guys fundraising?
Are constant on that.
Because I see that 50% of your budget is going to be CBD funding. So I just want to make sure that you're sustainable.
I can answer that. Well, this will be 13 years in June. So, we do fundraising. We constantly do fundraising. We have several corporate agencies that are assisting with kids funding activities. So we have funding for that. The main focus for us is to continue to apply for these grants so I can get employees, right? And then also be able to continue to monitor and sustain the building that we now have. Yeah, but again, we've been doing this for 13 years, and I've applied numerous times, paid grant writers numerous times to get us funding. Not sure what the issue is, but we're working every year and applying wherever, whenever we can to sustain ourselves. We've done it here, and I'm still not fully gray-haired, so I'm good.
Member Freeman?
I actually think you just answered my question as well. It was a question of how you sustain, if it's just yourself and you're doing all of the grant writing and a bulk of the fundraising. So if you don't get this grant, what are your plans?
The same thing I've been doing is keep applying. Just keep applying and keep applying, and money sometimes just seems to follow me. Like the building. I'm a big woman of faith, and this is not my will, and I'm supposed to be doing this, so I just continue to do the work, and God just continues to put people in my life like Dawn and like Mr. Andy, who gave me the building, bought the building for me, then gave me money to fix it, and then gave me the building. So I know, the board doesn't look at the faith aspect, they look at the numbers. I get all that, and that's why we continuously work to get funding for the program, and that's like every other nonprofit, but we're talking about Real Talk. The main goal is to continue to fight to get the funding, and however we can do it, we're going to continue to apply and put ourselves out there and get people to know more about us.
Well, thank you, and I also appreciate your energy as we wrap up today. It's nice. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your time and your presentation.
Thank you. You guys have a good
one. All right.
Come back next week to help you liven up, too, if you want. I'll find the time.
Okay.
Perhaps you
Okay. All righty, we'll move on to agenda item number 6, citizens' participation. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the board. No subject may be acted upon by the board unless the subject is on the agenda and is scheduled for action. If you wish to be heard, come forward and give your name for the record. The amount of discussion or on any single subject, as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed, may be limited. Do we have any citizens' participation? Seeing none, I do have a question for city, just clarification to help my fellow board members here. Is with CDBG grant funds, there's a minimum funding amount, is that correct?
That's correct. Colleen Duiger, Neighborhood Services. The minimum award would be $65,000.
65,000. Okay, thank you. I think we lowballed it another amount, so we wanted to get clarification for 64,000 for that. I want to thank everybody. It has been an honor to serve with you and to serve you. We have some decisions to make. I think our next meeting is the 23rd. Is that correct?
Correct. Colleen Duiger, Neighborhood Services. Scores are due in Neighborly on Tuesday the 17th, and then we meet for the deliberation meeting on February 23rd.
All righty, thank you very much. Love clarification. So please make sure that you have input your scores in the Neighborly software by the 17th, and then we will be meeting for deliberations again on the 23rd. With that, if there's no questions, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Quick question.
Go ahead, Member Jones Cigar.
Deliberation here?
Yes, Colleen Duiger, same place.
Thank you.
9 o'clock?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
Yeah.
All righty.
I have a question as well. You compile all of our scoring, is that correct? And then we figure out from there how much we're going to allot to what organizations?
Colleen Duiger, Neighborhood Services. Yeah, so on the day of the deliberation meeting, we'll have a spreadsheet. We'll provide you with the rank scores. And then as you're deliberating and putting forth different motions, we'll be calculating that so you can see if, all the money spent or what you have left over.
Thank you very much. Those were all the questions I thought I was going to come up with. Thank you very much, members. Again, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
Member McKnight, motion for adjournment.
Do I have a second?
Member Zangaro, second.
All right, I have a motion to adjourn as well as a second, and it's been my honor and pleasure. We will stand adjourned 5 minutes.
5 minutes?